I remember standing on the street looking up, saying out loud, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God." I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. You shoot first and you ask questions later. And I'm looking up and bodies are falling from the sky, and your brain can't keep up with the reality that's in front of your eyes. You just can't quite imagine that it's really happening. They had set up a makeshift triage right under the Millennium Hotel, right across the street from the World Trade Center on Church Street. And that's where they were bringing the injured. There were very little injured. It was an incident where, people either lived or died. At some point, you felt the earth sort of shaking, almost like an earthquake. And I didn't know what was happening at that moment because my back happened to be turned towards the buildings at that moment. And you felt this sort of rumbling. And as I turned around, there was this mushroom cloud torpedoing down the street. And my instinct was to run. Normally, my instinct would be to shoot, but for the first time in my life, my instinct was to run, because if I didn't run, I knew I would be dead. So I was running away from this mushroom cloud and ran into a pharmacy. I maneuvered my way through the back of the pharmacy and wound up in the lobby of a building on Ann Street and Broadway. And I knew that I had to go out there. I didn't know what had happened. I just knew whatever happened out there, I had to go and photograph it. So I was wandering around just at the foot of City Hall, and I will never forget this image. I'm running away from Lower Manhattan, turning back, and just seeing these clouds of smoke billowing everywhere. And my heart was breaking with every step, thinking, this is my city. The very next morning, first thing in the morning, I got myself down to Battery Park City and worked myself up to a rooftop. I found a rooftop to photograph from, and it was an incredible vantage point. And this is the West Side Highway, completely covered with the World Trade Center debris. And the next frame was actually the front page of the Daily News on September 13th. And it's of firemen bringing a body out of the rubble. For months and months and months after the attacks, I photographed firefighter funerals. And they would come right from ground zero in their work clothes, and they would come to funerals and reeking of World Trade Center debris. But everybody showed up. Everybody was there for each other. It was just incredible. My obligation as a journalist, as a photojournalist, was never as strong as it was during that time. I felt such an obligation to our readers, to the city, to the country, to document what had happened there. Shortly after, I wondered how the event would change me, what effect it would have on me. And I always thought, in time, I'll understand how I've changed from it. And 10 years have gone by, and I'm waiting for the epiphany, and it still hasn't come. I just think it's become part of my life experience, part of who I am today. I've always been a proud New Yorker. I'm an even more proud New Yorker. I've always been a committed journalist. I'm even a more committed journalist. Maybe it's cemented all of my beliefs about everything that I already felt.